we doing?
Doug, if you want to start, just updates with Travis and Tyson.
Both those guys will be out there today. Both are doing well, just kind of day to day with each one, but both are doing good.
Is Cam a guy that you think you could get back before the playoffs start?
I believe so. We'll see how he does these next couple of weeks, obviously, and but optimistic that we could. Yes.
Do you feel any extra energy from your team as they get ready for this? A lot of the roster has never played in a Monday Night Football game.
I think maybe the closer we get to the game, possibly. One of the things that I'm going to keep talking to these guys about is just controlling emotion. Just staying in the moment. Obviously, just focus on your job. This week, and you don't have to go out of your way or do anything extra special. Just do your process.
Doug, is there any difference between the Saturday night games you had last year and the Monday night? Is it short week is obviously harder because there's less time, or is Monday tough in some ways because they got an extra day to think about it?
Well, I look at it differently. I look at it a Monday game gives you extra rest days, in there. Try to get a few guys healthy, for the game. It's the back end. It's the next week that poses the problem. But, I don't think it affects the guys either way. I don't think they think about it any differently than they would a Sunday game, or a Saturday game, really.
Saturday night games last year, they already proved they could kind of handle the bright lights of that kind of a spotlight, right? Or that kind of a...
Yeah, I mean, that was good to have, the Tennessee game on a Saturday night here. Obviously the playoff game Saturday night here. Of course, Kansas City. It's just big moments. We haven't had many. This team we're playing has been a lot. Recently. So it's just how we handle that, and how we approach it. But just keep things the same.
What's the biggest difference you've seen in Josh Allen this year compared to last year?
Well, he's affecting the quarterback, obviously. He's playing. He's playing physical. He's using a lot of his, pass rush game, to affect the quarterback. In by scheme too, we've seen a lot of different moves and games and stunts and different things too, which are effective. A lot of teams do that, and we've been able to do it. And obviously his desire to get to the quarterback, especially in passing situations. So it's a combination of everything.
Do you remember your first Monday Night Football game or no?
No. As a player or coach?
Yeah,
or?
as a player.
No.
But just as a player, though, what were your thoughts like when you go into Monday night? How exciting was it? Just your feelings back then.
Yeah, I mean it's very exciting. It's Monday Night Football, the history of Monday Night Football in the National Football League, and you're the only night, or the only game on that day, and it's you're playing in front of your peers, your other teams, and they're watching you, and it's exciting, and we're just hopeful that maybe we have a few more down the road.
Is it baffling to you that this team hasn't played on Monday night since 2011?
It really is. But again, you have to kind of earn that right, I think, to play on Monday night or a Sunday night game, and I feel like that the guys have earned that, for this game, and again, hopefully we have more to come.
How do you approach playing a Jake Browning who's been around the league for a while, but this is only his second career start?
I mean, you just gotta watch all the clips, right? You just gotta go back and look at all his body work and see, and then how they're using him within this system. There's not a lot of reps in the offense. Obviously, you just gotta approach it, and like we say, you just gotta continue to do your job and focus on your role and what you're assigned to do. You just don't go chasing plays, but at the same time, I'm sure going to try to get the ball out of his hand quickly, and he does a pretty good job of that. The short to intermediate stuff, and screen game has been real effective, for them, and so empty formations, things of that nature that sort of for a quarterback, sort of simplify the defense a little bit, So there's ways of looking at all that, but it just comes down to doing your responsibility.
You pick Press's brain at all about his brother?
No.
When you look at how your team finished last season, obviously a lot of it is a function of getting used to your system and getting used to playing with each other. Does that give you confidence for this stretch run in the last 6 games that this team can also finish strong, just given the fact that it's more mature, had more time together, all that stuff?
Yes. Obviously, it's different. Different set of circumstances, I think, this year than last year. Last year, we were kind of fighting for our lives at the end of the season. We were fighting just to, compete in the AFC South, right? This year's different when you're, it goes back to, playing with a lead, right, in games and sustaining that lead. And so now you're in that lead, obviously, in the AFC South, but at the same time, you look up at the AFC and there's bigger things for this team, right? And so our focus has to be just that. But leaning on our experiences a year ago definitely can help us in these moments.
When you think about all the teams that you had in Philly from a bonding standpoint only, not talent or anything like that, do you feel like this team is as connected as any team that you had in Philly?
Yes.
Could you explain why? I mean,
I just think I just listen. I listen to their conversations, in and around the building. I listen to them. When I say listen, I'm listening from afar. I'm not like, but just hearing what they're saying, what they're doing, what I'm seeing them do. When there's days off, the amount of guys that are in the building, they really do like this place. It's a good place to come to and get a workout in or watch some film, treatment, whatever it might be. And that's what cultivates culture and the bond that this group has. And they genuinely like each other and they get along, and that goes a long way.
Is this the easier move for Walker? He starts four at left tackle, then 4 at left guard. Now 4, assumingly 4 back at left tackle. Is that the easier move for him because it's what he knows best, kind of his home?
Yeah, and again, it's just a credit to Walker. I mean, he's bounced around, the offensive line this year. It's not easy to play offensive line, obviously, in this league, but I think for him, his natural position, is the tackle spot. So there'll be a lot of familiarity out there, and it's just a matter of different stance. You're a little bit more on an island. I mean, there's, space is greater than playing at that guard spot. So just getting used to that, and really in practice will help him.
My Calls, My Cleats week, you get to wear some shoes that are really close to your heart. Can you just explain why you chose what you chose for?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with pancreatic cancer and what we went through with my brother a couple years ago, and it's just it's near and dear to us as a family and to me, and it's a great way to honor him and his legacy and memory, and at the same time support a really good cause.
Is this an opportunity you look forward to each year?
I do. In years past, you just sort of try to figure out what you want to do or support, and everybody has a little bit of this and that, I guess, but for me, it's obviously personal, having gone through it, and it makes it more special.
Defensively, Cincinnati obviously, carried them to a Super Bowl back in 2021, a lot of the same personnel. What's changed since then, and maybe what allowed for them to have kind of that mini resurgence in the middle of this season?
This is it's a good defense. When you look at them, and you look at them on paper, I mean, there's what are they? They're creating some takeaways. I think they had a couple guys, 4 interceptions, 3 interceptions, creating those opportunistic moments for their offense. Obviously, they definitely miss probably Joe. The biggest issue there, for them probably is just dealing with that. But they were able to score points off of those turnovers. When you look at some of the games during their Super Bowl run and those postseason games, some of the takeaways that they were creating, their offense was scoring. And and rightfully so. I mean, even now, you know, as the defense creates takeaways, they're still producing some scores. But you know, it's a really good, solid, sound. Another one of those defenses that's been around their coordinator for a few years now, and so they've got really smart, talented, physical guys, and they play sound football. And there's a lot of moving parts, but it's not moving parts that's chaos. It's moving parts that are in sync with one another, very detailed, and you know, they play really, really well.
We asked you, Logan Wilson, kind of, I don't want to say he's getting a bad rep, but in light of the drop tackle against Mark Andrews, so he kind of has gotten this bad rep of like he's out to get people's legs. What do you see from him as a player?
Listen, you know, people are going to say what they want to say, but this is a good football player. You know, he's smart, he's instinctive, he gets the defense lined up. He doesn't come off the field. I mean, this guy, he's all over the place, and he's tough, he's downhill. So I think anybody trying to tackle Mark Andrews would have a tough time, and they have. And so, yeah, I don't put this one on him.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.